Welcome to the Action Drug Hour here on 98.1 in AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station. And it's good to be here. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm here. I'm Cary Quashin. I am the host of the show along with my co-host today, which is Lance Curtis, which is actually, you've been with me how many years?
It will be almost 20.
Been with me for 20 years as our clinical director at Action. So, wow, that's a long time, huh?
That's a long time.
So we've been working and helping people for 20 years. Well, actually, a lot longer, but together.
That's right.
For 20 years.
20 years of action.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Time flies when you're having fun.
I know. And special prayers out to the people in Florida right now.
Yes, that's horrendous. That's terrible.
I just had to throw that out. I mean, it's so freaking sad to see what these poor individuals are going through. I think I have a bad day, and I put the news on, and there's no bad days here.
No.
I mean, there really isn't. So let's send our prayers out to the people of Florida and everybody else, and go on with our show. Hey, it's been I was just talking to one of the media people here at KHTS, and they were telling at a college they brought up a KTLA 5 news thing that I had done, and they were talking about. Isn't that cool?
You've been around for a while, man. You're pretty
What are you
famous.
trying to say,
You're
Lance?
pretty famous.
What are you trying to say? I'm changing my sobriety. Just so you know. And when people say, how much time sober do you have, it's really 41 years, right? But I'm going to say 12. It'll make me sound younger, and it's still a lot of time. What do you think?
I don't know. No? I like the 41 better.
Don't cheat myself?
I like the 41 better.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I'll tell you, it is pretty amazing to think about 41 years ago. And to be here today doing the things that we've been doing for 20 years, and I've been doing this for almost 40 right now. And before this, what did you do? That's just, people don't know much about you. So share a little bit about you, and then we'll bring our guests on.
Well, it's kind of interesting. For about 20 years, I worked between the California Youth Authority and the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I was a parole agent. Real interesting job. I worked with a lot of my caseload were addicts and alcoholics. A lot of substance abuse. I think the statistics will say that about 83% of the folks who are committed to corrections have a substance abuse problem.
Isn't that insane? So let's go with that for a second. Let's say we got rid of all alcohol and drugs just for a week. What do you think the arrests would be?
Be dramatically reduced.
Isn't that insane?
Because
if you think about it, 80-something%, and that's being lenient, of people that are in jails right now are there because of some crime they committed while under the influence, or to get under the influence.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just want to talk about this for a second, and then we're going to bring you guys on. Okay, we're just coming out of what they call the pandemic, right? Even though I don't know if we're coming out of it, COVID's still here, but people are not taking it as crazy or serious as they used to be. But we're in the midst of an even bigger pandemic that we have been in the midst for years. As you know, I've been screaming for years, we're in an epidemic. We have an epidemic when it comes to opiates. And then all of a sudden, you turned on the television before the pandemic or COVID came, and all they talked about was opiates. And overdoses, and too many people are becoming addicts, and we're writing too many prescriptions. Remember all that? Then COVID came, and what happened?
Yeah, we shifted our focus from the opiates and the opioids to just the pandemic specifically, and then the pandemic actually contributed greatly to the increasing number of people who are using opioids. And opiates, especially fentanyl.
Oh, yeah, but even before that, if you think about it, so the pandemic comes out. We got a stay-at-home order.
Yep.
You think people who were drinking don't drink anymore? Now there's even more anxiety, right? So what are they going to do?
Get it delivered.
Get it delivered and drink more. In fact, if you remember Costco and Sam's Club and all those places, they didn't even have any alcohol left. People were buying it off the shelves. So the alcoholism went crazy. Yeah. We were dealing with that. People who were dealing with using drugs use more drugs. People who had anxiety had more anxiety. All of a sudden, you got depression, anxiety, suicidal, alcohol, drugs, domestic violence went crazy because people were around too much. All kinds of insane stuff. But you didn't talk about that. They only talked about COVID. So then all of a sudden, at the same time, they were saying, okay, we have to stop this opioid crisis, which they needed to do something. Yes, DEA got involved, the Medical Association got involved. There were big-time lawsuits to big farm companies, and doctors stopped writing prescriptions. Boom, bang, stop, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So now the supply is gone. The demand is higher than it has ever been in history. What did that open the door for? There's no more drugs. What about these people that were hooked on drugs? They were starting to get drug dope sick. How about the people that really needed the medication that couldn't get it? Remember we were dealing with professionals that were coming in smoking heroin.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get
that.
their prescriptions.
Yeah.
And the pills were just too much money. Then everything changed because people realized then that, wow, we could bootleg these drugs. We can get fentanyl shipped in and turn them into pills, and they look just like the real thing. And that was going on out here. Well, the DEA kind of got in the way of that, but now fentanyl's going into Mexico, and they're bootlegging them by the millions, and which means, again, it's coming here. It's coming out throughout the country. It's not just a Santa Clarita thing. It's a countrywide crisis we're in right now. And pandemic, I will say for sure. So what happened is everybody that needed these drugs started buying the pills, and people were dying by accident. They were buying what they thought was Oxy, and they still are, or Percocet, or Ativan, or Xanax, or crystal meth, or ecstasy. It's in everything right now. So my message is, the demand's never went away. The supply has definitely went away, and everything out there right now is fentanyl. So so if you think about pandemic, we lost over 100,000 people last year to accidental overdoses. That's just accidental. Okay? What about suicide because of drugs or alcohol? You want to double that number or triple it? What do you think?
I would say triple it.
So now, just say 300,000-400,000, right? How about child abuse?
Oh, that's definitely increased and gone through the roof. Domestic violence has increased and gone through the roof.
Car crashes.
Yeah, car crashes.
Burglaries.
Everything.
Robberies. Murders. Mm-hmm. So you take substance abuse right now, and like you said, 80% of people in jails, and it's the biggest crisis we ever suffered. And the saddest thing right now, it's the number one killer, they say, from 18 to 45. It's really 16 to 45, as you know. We're burying a lot of kids right now.
A lot of kids are experimenting with fentanyl and opiates. They have no idea what they're getting into. And the drug is not forgiving at all.
No, it's just like when you're baking cookies, and I use this a lot. And if you're baking cookies and you put too much chocolate chips in it, they're delicious. And if you're not a chef, oh, oops, I put too much chocolate chips. But the people that are making these pills right now are cutting it with fentanyl. They're not chemists. What if they put too much fentanyl in there? It's not like chocolate chips. That means you're going to have mass casualties from that batch.
That's right.
And that's what we're seeing right now. So every time you buy a drug out there today, you're playing, and everyone's saying it, Russian roulette with more than one bullet. You're putting your life in your hands, in someone else's hands, period. And every drug that you buy on Snapchat or Instagram or wherever it is that you're buying it, you got to know they are not real. They are fentanyl, for sure. Not a maybe anymore. No. So that's the bad news. The good news is people do recover.
People can recover, for sure. Unfortunately, again, as I mentioned earlier, Cary, that drug is very unforgiving, and the drug is so unpredictable because no one knows the potency until it may be too late.
And there's no way to know.
There's no way to know.
And by the way, I've heard all these ridiculous things. There's a drop test. Pick up a pill, drop it. If it splatters, it's not real. That's so false. You cannot tell them apart today. They look identical. They feel identical. They fall identical. They break identical.
They kill identical.
And they kill worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm speaking of just ridiculousness. I've had people tell me in groups that they can overdose off fentanyl. That their dealer has already tested the purity of it and knows just how much a person should take. That's going to kill a lot of folks.
because you can't test the purity of a pill. I test pills. I test drugs for fentanyl. And what I do is I crunch them up, put them in water, and test. It's a fentanyl stick. It'll tell you positive or negative for fentanyl. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. You cannot tell. So everybody that's telling you that,
But the sad part about it is people are believing that.
well, it's
They're
because
drinking the Kool-Aid.
because they want to get high.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they're dope sick.
Yeah.
I mean, we was putting this poor girl in rehab today, and she was there for a couple of days and left because she was so afraid of the detox. And of course, she's back. We had 2 people discharged early. They're back. It's just that bad right now. So on that note, let's change the whole focus. Okay, I think we beat that up today. What do you think?
I think we did a good job covering
You
that.
think we did a good job?
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to join in our conversation, we have mics, we have phones. You could call it 661-298-5487, 661-298-5487. I'm going to bring Gabby in.
Hello.
Because, Gabby, tell everybody your name and how old you are and where you're living right now, and then we'll go from there.
I'm Gabby. I'm 18 years old currently, and I live in Canyon Country. Right?
Not right now,
Well,
you know.
not right now.
do you
I'm
live?
actually in the inpatient Pyru House rehab. So, yeah.
You wanna- Tell your story. How does somebody that looks, I mean, you look like the kid next door.
Yeah, I get that a lot, actually.
I'm sure you do. You don't look like the person that people think about when they come to substance abuse or alcoholism. And by the way, those faces changed many, many years ago.
Yeah.
The faces of addiction is right here in front of you. So tell your story. You woke up one day, remember, and you were walking down the street, and a bong fell into your hands and said, "Smoke me."
Yeah.
No, is that what happened?
Oh, that's definitely what happened.
So tell us what happened.
So, I would say that my story probably started when I was 11. I was with a friend, I believe, and we were playing a game of Truth or Dare, and I got dared to drink a shot of tequila. It was terrible, very, very terrible and very strong, so I decided to just drop it until I reached high school, freshman year. Then I started experimenting, started smoking weed, started taking psychedelics, among many other things.
At what age?
At about 13,
Okay.
when I was about to turn 14.
Well, see,
so.
we hear that all the time, and people just don't know. It's changed. It's not like it used to be, especially peer pressure is different today than it's ever been before when it comes to adolescence.
Yes. And I actually found out that one of the psychedelics that I had took was actually laced with PCP, I believe.
Mm.
And, yeah, from
that didn't go well, did
that, well, it went better than anticipated, I guess.
Yeah.
So during the years of high school, I had just started experimenting, started doing drugs every day, and my drinking really hadn't progressed until about a year and a half ago when I started drinking casually, social drinker as people say. I had actually gone to England and to study abroad, and I went there on a scholarship for business and economics. Smart chick.
I didn't know that, did you?
I had no idea. I'm impressed.
Yeah, oh man, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. But, yeah, I started drinking a lot more socially, and it started progressing to the point where I would just drink every day, and then it got to a point where I would drink a bottle a day, 2 bottles a day, or as we call them, handles.
At 17?
At 17, yes. and I had spent all my money on alcohol and drugs, and I actually edited a picture of my passport so I would be 18 to the stores, and then it got to the point where they actually knew me and knew that I wanted Smirnoff. So, yeah, that wasn't very good.
That's a nasty thing to drink, boy.
Yeah. So it was mainly drinking when I was out in Europe, and then I actually found a dealer out there who started giving me other things. And that wasn't good, especially when I had these high level of studies that I was doing. I was in the highest classes, but I was still very functional, even though I'd show up to class drunk every day, high every day. I was extremely functional, and nobody really batted an eye in my direction.
Well, you kept things going. Your grades were good. You showed up to school. I mean, there was no reason for people to really question you at that time.
Yeah, exactly. I had gotten suspended a few times, but
For
the drinking.
really?
Yes, I had to go with a host family because I got external suspension, as they call it, and that I was very, very close to getting kicked out of the school towards the end because I started becoming very sloppy and less functional, as they would say.
Couldn't keep it together any longer, huh?
No, yeah. But I also realized that I had become very good at lying to get what I want. So I'm pretty sure my parents are on here, so I'm sorry.
They're listening, aren't they?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah, I had kind of lied to them saying that, I was allowed to drink all the time in order for them to get me drinks. And it started getting worse when I came back because I started drinking, doing pills, doing cocaine. That was progressing extremely to the point where I overdosed a few times.
What did that look like?
Well, the first time I had overdosed, I was home alone, and I was very distraught mentally, and I was just drinking, and I decided to take a bunch of benzodiazepines, and I didn't even know that I had overdosed and passed out if it weren't for my grandpa who came to check on me. I was just on the floor, unresponsive. So they took me to the hospital, and I do not remember much about that day at all.
So I wouldn't really call that an overdose. I would call that a suicide attempt.
Yeah,
Am I right?
possibly. I don't know what my intention was at the time because I don't remember.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So after that, my parents had taken me to outpatient rehab for adolescents because I was still 17 at the time. And I was doing well for about a week, and then I had relapsed a day before my birthday with the excuse that I could steal alcohol from a store and I wouldn't be able to be charged as an adult because it was the last day of me being 17. So that was kind of my clouded judgment. And I had stolen the alcohol. I had been getting drunk and going to the outpatient groups drunk. And that was definitely not good now that I'm in a clear mind. Mm-hmm. So it had progressed to the point where I intentionally overdosed again because of how depressed I had become, and I just didn't want to live anymore. So I had purposely tried to commit suicide and ended up in the hospital again, where I was just insane. I, again, don't really remember much. My parents had told me that I had to be restrained because I was acting insane. I had to have a psych evaluation, nearly got sent to a psych ward for 5150, and I was just done with life at that point. And as soon as I got out of the hospital, they had taken me to the inpatient Pyru house, and I have been here for about 31 days. Or no, 33 days, actually.
So you have 33 days sober, don't you?
33 days sober now, and I'm much happier.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Are you happier?
I am, genuinely.
Tell us, because you look happier. I mean, you're glowing.
Oh, thank you.
You got color in your skin. And you came in, we were all very concerned.
Yeah, I'd come in looking like a wreck, to be honest.
Plus, when you're as young as that, it's a little harder for people to understand alcoholism and drug addiction as a disease.
Yes.
But you know what? If you could think of it as a disease, it's a whole lot easier to get clean.
Yeah.
And you can start blaming the drugs and the alcohol versus yourself.
Exactly. I had come in because my parents made me go. I didn't want to be here at first. I was a bit depressed, and my my co-person here, Christine, was actually my first roommate, and she was very, very nice, talking to me all night. Mm-hmm. And it soon became less of a chore to be here and more of I actually want to stay at the point that I am right now. I am very happy, and I realized that I'm starting to like the person I am, because when I was...
How could you not? I mean, you're so freaking cool, isn't she? How do you not?
Yeah, I hated myself when I was using. I really genuinely hated myself. I saw nothing good about myself, and I just wanted to die. And I had not seen myself living past the age of, say, like 25. I was like on a suicide mission, to be honest. But now that I'm, in the inpatient rehab, made a lot of close friends there, I'm starting to realize my worth.
Tell me about that real quick before we take a break. What's your worth?
Oh, well, not to sound conceited or anything.
Please sound conceited.
I am quite hilarious. I am very witty. And I've become a lot more caring and considerate of other people. I like helping people now. I was extremely selfish before. Now I love helping people. And, I care a lot now.
Wow. Lance, huh?
Pretty incredible. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the. She probably belongs to the Mensa Society.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But you know what? Repeat after me. My name is Gabby.
My name is Gabby.
And I'm a freaking special, beautiful person, and I'm worth it.
And I'm a freaking special, beautiful person, and I'm worth it.
Yeah, but
On that note, this is 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS, the Drug Action Hour. Be back. Welcome back to the Action Drug Hour here on KHTS 98.1 and 1220 AM 1220. Wow, Gabby, that was a pretty amazing story. So listen, you said that your parents might be listening.
Yeah, I did.
What would you like to say to them if they're listening?
I'm sorry.
I know we have some callers, but before that, what would you like to say to your parents for real?
I'd like to say, because I've never really told them about what I've just said, so, yeah, I kind of realize now, not kind of, I very much realize now the pain I've caused, and I would like to sincerely apologize for all of the fear that I've instilled in you guys.
Very cool. So you know what? I know we have some listeners that are listening. We got Matt. We got Jeff Morris. Hi, Jeff Morris. That's my brother-in-law. And we also have a phone call, don't we? Have some phone calls? Why don't we bring our caller on? Tell me when you're ready. Ready? Caller, you're on the radio with the Action Drug Hour. I'm Cary.
Hi, Cary.
Hello. Who's calling?
This is Adam. This is Gabby's dad.
Ah, your dad's on the phone.
Yes.
Oh, cool. What do you? So you must be listening or watching, huh, Alan? Adam.
Yeah, I'm listening. In my radio in my truck. Yep.
Very cool. Anything you want to say to your daughter? You've heard everything she said, I'm sure.
I have, and a lot of that, like she said, we didn't know, and I'm glad to know. And I want to say, we love you, first of all, Mom and I, and we're just, we want to see more of this new happy with herself, Gabby. That's all we want is Gabby to be happy and have a great, wonderful life.
Because she's special and freaking beautiful, and she's worth it, right?
Exactly. Because of all that, we've always told her how funny she is. She should have her own podcast. Everything. She's just she's hilarious.
Very cool.
Thank you.
What do you want to say to your daddy?
I'd like to say, well, I'm kind of embarrassed, but at the same time, I appreciate what you've said, and I love you too. And yeah, I want to be better, and I want to stay sober. Get my year, get my cake.
Wow. I have no doubt that you're going to do this. You know, it's just that fight that we have inside our brains of the should I or should I not. You know, is it all or none? And the answer, yeah, it's all or none. And yes, you should. And yes, you're worth it. And you got so much life to live still.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything else Dad, you want to say to her?
I just keep up that fight. It's your fight, and we're here to support you. And Cary and all you guys over in Action. I just have to tell everyone how great you guys are, and honestly, one of the best things about Action is not just how great you guys are, but how great the patients are, the people that are the clients.
Exactly.
Christine in there, who's taking care of my Gabby, and everyone else at Pyru.
Hi,
they're awesome. Malachi, everyone over at Pyru, you guys are awesome, and you guys support each other, and that's what's important. And I want to thank all of you guys.
Very cool. Hey, you guys are what makes this worth it. Lance, anything you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, Adam, how you doing? It's Lance. I had the pleasure of meeting you and your lovely wife, and I've learned some things about your daughter that I didn't know. I'm highly impressed. You guys did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Hi, Adam.
That's Christine. So I want to thank you for calling, and we'll see you Thursday. And it's a pleasure. Thank you for allowing us to work with your daughter and trust her life with us. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wow, how was that?
It was, I don't know, it was better than I expected it to go, because I haven't told them any of that, so I was very scared, to be honest.
Okay, before we move on with Christine, anything you want to say to your mama? We left her out.
Yeah, sorry, Mother. Yeah, just that I love you and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Doesn't go unnoticed, even though it seems like it does. I do notice and I appreciate it. I just have trouble verbalizing it.
Okay, very good. Hey, give me a hug. I'm really, really proud of you. You're just freaking awesome. Don't you ever forget that. Ever forget that. Got it?
Got it. Thank you.
So, Christine, where are you? Tell us a little bit about you and where you're living now.
So I'm Christine. I'm living at the Sober Living on Bouquet Canyon Road. Mm-hmm. Been there, I think, about 2.5 weeks now.
Yep. So you graduated.
I graduated. I have 47 days sober.
Wow. Yay.
Yeah. This was my first go-around in treatment, but I'm glad I did it because I, as Gabby, did not want to be here the first 2 days.
Yeah.
But I came in very sad, ready to end my life. I was using meth since I was 18 up until 33, every day, all day. I started my addiction, though, when I was about 11 with my first drink of vodka. Gross.
Yeah.
But I put that on hold. I was actually taking water bottles of my mom and my dad had like the big old Costco jug of vodka. Mm-hmm. And I had always struggled with depression, so before I reached for alcohol or drugs, I was cutting.
Right.
And my parents found out about the cutting around like 12 or so. My mom tried to get me into a Kaiser counseling thing, but it didn't stick. And then when I hit high school, 14 years old, I was taking water bottles of vodka to school every day. Parents didn't know about that. Sorry. And
they are listening.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just checking.
Love you. They did find out about the vodka though, because when they finally popped that bottle open, it was all diluted with water.
Remember this. You're as sick as your secrets. When
I know.
you start letting go of your secrets, you get better.
I know. But
So this is a let go of your secret show,
yeah, obviously.
right?
But then started smoking weed around 15 and a half. Started doing that every day. Didn't get into meth until 18 years old. Didn't even start using it every day until I started smoking it. And then after that, it was kind of on. It helped numb a lot of emotions, as did the alcohol.
You know, at first, when we first start using, I mean, it opens up a whole different world, and it does work for a minute. Problem is, it stops working pretty quickly, and then it becomes something we have to do, and it's not our friend anymore, it's our enemy.
Yeah, because I was having to use every day just to get up out of bed and go to work.
Right.
And even just to deal with life in general, like,
Right.
I just never been very good with emotional anything. So, it got to a point though, because I have a son, he's 12 years old, and me and him have always been close up until this last year of 2022. I was isolating from everybody, even him. And emotionally, I thought it would get easier, to hold it all in, and because the longer you do it, the easier it should be. Mm-hmm. That's not the case.
Yeah.
It got a lot harder, to the point where I wanted to die. Like, I was just over it. It was just a chore,
Yeah.
No longer fun, no longer a party.
Goes from your best friend to your worst enemy.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
It turns good dreams into nightmares.
Or even non-existent, actually. Like, I didn't even have any dreams anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly forgot, like, who I was.
You look like such a happy person now.
Yeah.
I mean, you do.
Thanks. Everyone always says that. Like, I always can put a smile on and dying on the inside, but I'm a lot better.
So let me ask you, are you dying on the inside right now, or are you happier?
I'm a lot happier because I'm not thinking of life as just having to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I actually want to do it. Like, I want to live and I want to be better.
Why? What changed?
Me, I guess. Like, me and not using, obviously, definitely helped clear up the mind, because I didn't realize, but it was very, very clouded. Not at all of what how I actually feel.
Right.
I mean, I still have a lot of work to do, obviously, but that's a day-by-day thing.
We all do, always.
Yeah.
When we stop growing, I mean...
Yeah, we stop living.
Exactly. So that's for always.
Yeah. But it's not as, like, I know that life is always having to, like, it's work and it's hard, but it's like I want to do it now. Like, it wasn't like, oh, God, like, dreading it. Like, I want to live and I want to be there for my son like I was, because we were so close.
We're so close?
Well, we are still, actually, because, I call him,
That's what I'm trying to say.
And so he just, I'm his mom, so, like, that I never knew, like, I knew, but it just didn't matter, I guess. But, I love that boy. Like, he's my everything.
He's your son.
Yeah, he's my baby.
I'm going to tell you what I tell everyone else that has children. Be to your kid what you want your kid to grow up and be.
Right.
And by the way, he's 12. You still got... you could still be everything you want to be to that son of yours.
Yeah.
You could still be a great mom. And you could still be somebody that's loved and respected and all that great stuff. So I'm sure you are right now. I'm sure he's really proud of you.
Yeah, he is. He's never lost any kind of sight of me being just the greatest mom, like, which is, I appreciate that. Like, I'm very lucky because, I didn't have to lose everything in order to, Yep.
Let me ask you one quick question. You just showed up. What happened? How come you ended up? What was that? Boom, bang! I'm going to rehab.
Well, the day that I came into rehab, I was gonna commit suicide. I was gonna just end it. I had actually been looking for fentanyl in the town that I was in, San Pedro, just to overdose. It wasn't to get high. It wasn't to do any of that. It was to die. That's what I was looking for.
I'm sure glad you didn't find it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had a homie out there who made sure that nobody gave it to me. Mm-hmm. Which luckily, now, but even in my last month out, I did shrooms, I did Percocet, I did Xannies, all within a period of 3 weeks.
And none of those were real, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Because even my meth it had fentanyl in it. Like, just the way smoking the bowl, like, it was all black. And I was like, okay, that's not
plus,
right.
when you're smoking meth and you're nodding, it's clearly
that
fentanyl.
part. Yeah, that's very true. So...
So you're really lucky to be alive, because not only were you using drugs that could kill you, you were looking for drugs to kill you.
Yeah.
How come you came to rehab instead?
Well, my mom came the day that I was, basically breaking down. She told me that it was either go to Action because my uncle works for Action, and
So your uncle's been working with me, David Ibarra, for about off and on 30 years.
Yeah. So, and I had actually been planning to come to Action like months prior, but it just procrastinated. I'm pretty good at that. But
It's scary to go to a rehab.
It is,
I mean,
yeah.
To figure out, oh my God, goodness, they're taking all my drugs.
Yeah,
When
that
that's
and
what
then
that's been your coping skills for all your life, just about your grown-up life.
18 to 33, I was doing it every day, all day, and then
Right, and then we take it.
yeah, you did. But luckily, I'm so thankful, like, because like I said, the first 2 days in there, I was calling and I was like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" Oh, sorry, get me the heck out of here. And but I'm glad I stayed. Like, I really am. Like, it did. I was a whole different person.
If you didn't come in, I would say you would what?
I would have been dead.
Because you really were serious.
Oh, I was serious. Yeah, I'd been struggling with depression my whole life, and then, like I said, it didn't get any easier at all.
Gotcha.
At all. Like, it just got harder and harder, and I was basically living like a ghost is the best way to kind of put it.
How do you feel about yourself today? Honestly,
I'm
on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 meaning you love yourself, you respect yourself, you feel great. The bottom of that scale would be a 0, meaning you feel like dirt.
Yeah, no, I feel about a good 9 because I'm still got a lot of stuff and demons that I got to deal with.
That's really great, man. Because
Yeah.
what do you think you were at when you were
Oh,
coming?
definitely like a negative 100.
So you went from a negative to a 9.
Yeah,
That's incredible. Do
So
you
it is
know
a-
what? Do you know only one thing can blow that? And what is that?
relapse.
That's it.
Going back out.
The hardest part, and this is, I'm going to talk to you guys about this whole thing, is most people go to rehab not to get clean and sober. They go to rehab to get something. I want to quit my fentanyl. I want to quit my vodka. I like vodka. I can smoke weed. I smoke too much weed. I could drink beer. If you figure out that it's an all or nothing thing, and if you don't drink or don't use anything, if you get rid of that internal fight, I promise you a better life. I promise you a better life. If you hold on to that thinking, I promise you more of the same. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens. So we have to really deal with that. So the thing is, man, it's just as simple as making a decision. Then the work becomes easier.
Yeah, and I've already felt that even just 47 days sober. Like,
Yeah.
because I would also smoke weed every day, all day. Like, even break time at work. Like, it was all the time. Like, I just barely got the THC out of my system, so I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
Gotcha.
Because it took that long.
But I mean, I'm super proud of you, and I know that your uncle is.
Yeah.
And Gabby, are you proud of her?
Oh, extremely proud. I love this woman so much.
Is she lovable?
She's like my mother in here.
I am. I'm her
very,
rehab mom.
very lovable.
What do you think, Lance?
Got a great big happy family here today.
We do.
Yeah, no, you know what? Seriously, people say to us all the time, why do you keep doing what you're doing? This is why. Seriously. You guys are why. I know that's why I do it, and I'm sure that's why he does it, because we can do other jobs. But when you hear somebody say, and I've heard this probably thousands of times in my 40 years, I was going to take my life and decided to come in instead and give it a whirl. And the amount of people that I get, Facebook friends and stuff like that, say thanks. You should see what I got this weekend. About 3 different people that I haven't spoken to in over 10 years saying thank you. I'm sober still.
That's right.
So it's so cool. All you got to do, guys, is not drink or use anything. Go to them funky meetings and do what everybody else that's staying clean and sober does, and I promise you a better life. Not every day is going to be peaches and cream, and some days it's going to be lemon instead of lemonade.
Yeah.
But that's one day at a time, and you deal with it.
Yeah.
And the hardest
sober.
thing to get, what?
I love lemons too.
Well, there you go. And if it's lemons, put sugar on it.
Yeah.
We can make something good every day, and be grateful for who you are. What's your name again?
My name is Gabby.
And you're a what?
Oh, and I am an addict and alcoholic.
And you are special in what?
And I am special and beautiful
And
worth it.
That's right.
Christine,
Yes.
your name?
My name's Christine. I'm an addict and alcoholic. And I'm beautiful and worth it and special.
And hilarious and lovable.
Do me a favor.
I
Give
love this girl.
her a hug for me.
Oh, Gabby. I love this girl.
I love this woman.
On that note, let's take a break. This is the Action Hour on KHTS. Welcome back to the Action Drug Hour here on 98.1 FM and 1220 AM KHTS, our local hometown station. And I'm getting a lot of text messages from people that are listening or watching us on Facebook. Say a special hi to my wife Jessica. She's right there, and everybody else. Okay, guys, listen. First of all, Christine, what do you want to say to your family that I know are listening, if they can figure out how? They tried.
They did. That I love them very much.
Speak to them specifically.
Mom and Dad, it's me, Christine. I just want to say that I appreciate everything that you have done and continue to do for me, and supporting me in every way possible, and that I love you very much. And I do apologize for everything that I have put you guys through since forever. But I promise that I am going to continue to do what I need to do and continue to get better.
Very cool. You know, the hardest part of getting sober and staying sober is dealing with feelings. Because for all these years, you just take them feelings, and when they come, you mistake them for the urge to get loaded. So when you get clean and those feelings come, sometimes it's going to be overwhelming, and you're going to feel like, oh, I want to get loaded, but it's not really even that. It's just dealing with that feeling.
Yeah.
And as you deal with them, the longer you do, the less the urges and the obsession goes away.
Yeah, because they come.
Yes, they do.
And it's scary, but it's great to have that fellowship, that camaraderie that we have at the houses. And
yes, but no, it's just a feeling that you're learning how to deal with, and as you get through those feelings, good things happen. Gabby.
Yes, sir.
So, 18 years old. You're pretty young, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we're having a crisis right now when it comes to adolescence and drugs. What do you want to say to the kids that are listening to this phone, that are 14, 15, 16, that are starting to go down the path that you did?
I just want to say that it's absolutely not worth it. Absolutely not worth it.
Am I making you say any of this?
No. I mean, speaking from the heart, I've been where you guys have been, and it does not get better. You think that the drugs will numb your pain, that they will make you feel better. It doesn't. It will progressively make you feel worse until the point where you don't want to live anymore. Some people are using drugs because they don't want to live anymore. But I promise you, once you get off of it, you stay clean, life will have meaning again. It's not bad forever. Life will just get better and better. You'll have so many opportunities.
Yeah, especially today, huh?
Yes, especially.
So how do you feel? You feel good?
I feel great, honestly.
And you said you wanted to come on the show today, because
yes.
So are you glad you did?
I'm very glad. I was very nervous, but
yeah,
I'm okay.
You know what I told her? I told her you have a face for radio, but she didn't know it was really being filmed, so I was kidding. She has a face for TV too.
Oh, thank you. I thank you.
I'm just messing with you. No, really, I can't be. I'm so proud of both of you. And you could jump in if you want, Lance. What do you think?
Yeah, I've really seen. You know, I've spent more time with Gabby lately because she's been in group. I've really seen her, evolve, much more focused and energetic.
Yeah.
Very positive about recovery in general, which is good.
Christina, you want to close it for us? You want to go back? You want to tell people what's your advice to people listening that are at any age, maybe in their 30s, and they're saying, I might have a problem with myself, or they don't want to live anymore. What's your advice?
My advice is to definitely get help. There's help. There's actually a lot of resources out there. Mm-hmm. This is my first treatment center, like I said, but I loved Action. I love it. And I'm actually not even going to go. I'm actually going to move out here.
Yep.
But definitely reach out for help. Don't give up, because like Gabby said, life is worth it, and it will get better. And life is actually freaking awesome. It's what you make of it. And if I could,
don't you ever forget you said that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's on radio. It got me recorded.
It's on. Yeah, we're gonna. We got you.
But no, it's definitely. Life is worth living, and don't give up. Just don't give up. Because the drugs, the alcohol, it's just a cover. Yeah. And it's going to get harder, and it's not worth it. It just isn't.
And if you think you have a problem,
you have a problem.
You have to question yourself.
If you got to ask yourself, is there a problem here? There's a problem. And
very good. And I'm going to take the old Cary unit thing. If you don't get help, And get help. But if you don't get help at Action, get help somewhere.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What, Lance? You wanted to say something?
Well, been a great show. I've learned a lot about our two guests, and I wish them well. And I'm sure that you are giving your families hope, and they need that.
Mm-hmm.
Till next week. This is the Action Drug Hour on KHTS.